Yes, before you ask, I am wearing short sleeves and there is snow on the ground. It is January in Colorado, and for some reason it's about 50 degrees out here. Okay, so today we're getting to a project that took me way too long to do, and even longer to do the video. This video has been over a year in the making. It was last winter when I started working on this guitar. So let's get into it and see how I turned this guitar into this guitar. Let's have a look. This is what was hiding underneath. Very interesting, like a pretty piece of wood here, but it looks like it's some sort of laminate on top of whatever sort of wood this is. Just look how pretty that backside is. Darn shame they decided to cover it up. I mean, that's pretty. It will definitely be unique. And I think I might leave that white on the sides, almost like a binding. Like, I think this is going to be cool. Okay, so these are cleaned. Those aren't. What I'm doing is I've got the G string I took off of the guitar and just cleaning the junk out. Just repeat 20 some odd more times. In order to round off these edges, which are very sharp and will cut your hand pretty good if you're trying to play, they say to use files, and that's pretty much what everyone says to do. It doesn't really work without chewing up the wood quite, well, really badly, actually. So, what you can do, though, is take a piece of wood and a rat tail style file, there we are, and make a little groove, just like that. And I made 2 of them, one on this side. Alright. Now, you can take a little tiny piece of sandpaper and glue it, this is sticky backed sandpaper, glue it in there, make sure it doesn't touch the sides, it's just in that crevice to that shape. Then you end up with something that will sand on a radius, but will have 2 pieces of wood rubbing up against the actual wood, so that you can't possibly scratch your rosewood or maple or whatever that is. Brilliant idea. Saw some guy on YouTube made this and I can't find the video, so if you find it again, please put it in the comments. First, we're going to mark all these. I'm going to very lightly scuff the back of this high gloss neck just to make it super, super smooth to the hands when you get a little sweaty. So this really doesn't take much. Whatever kind of poly that Fender was using in like the 90s, this stuff is indestructible. I have no idea what it is. This is what I've been using every once in a blue moon. But put this on your fretboard for your unfinished wood. I've never had a problem. Granted, I'm sure someone will say, "Oh, don't do that, it's terrible. It'll kill the world or something," I don't know. Okay, 5 minutes to let this soak. Now we rub off the excess. It's so pretty. Okay, now a note. You remember what the fire department and your dad said about leaving oily rags laying around? Don't do it. This is a standard Fender Stratocaster pickguard, fully loaded except for it has a push-pull pot that's really stiff right here for coil tapping the humbuckers, and it sounds like awful when I do that. What I want at some point will be 3 singles with 2 knobs, no third knob. Right now though, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the third knob, move the volume pot down to here, leave 1 tone knob. And I may leave the push-pull because I want to do the Gilmore mod at some point down the road. We'll see. So there are some modifications to this above and beyond what is normally on a Strat. A lot of that I think I'm going to be getting rid of and going back to more conventional wiring. Basically, we're going to unsolder everything. Okay, I did not realize the other camera died while I was testing the pickups and making sure I had the wiring right. But it is working. Cool. Those two. Tone works, etc. Exactly like it's supposed to. Time to start putting this thing back together. Okay, the project is done, and she's looking pretty good. I really like the way it plays. Plays really well. Sounds good. I like deleting the extra tone knob, moving things down. Keeps things out of the way for when I'm palm muting. Something I've always had an issue with my Stratocaster. Everything feels great, plays great. I've got one lonely high fret way up high that I must have missed whenever I was decking. Must have not hit it just right. So I will have to address that, but probably not today. Probably in a few days I'll restring it, address that issue. Honestly, I didn't really have to do anything to set this thing up, pretty much. Everything kind of went in, the intonation was good, which is not normal, but who am I to look the gift horse in the mouth? So, do I recommend that you attempt something quite this drastic? I would have to say no. Not unless you are a very dedicated tinkerer or project person that really does a lot of large DIY projects. Doesn't mind fiddly bits, doesn't mind nerve-wracking bits, messing up their rosewood fingerboard or sanding through their instrument. If you are someone who really likes large projects, who likes guitars, who maybe is thinking about becoming a luthier of some sort, I could see this being a project for you. Most people I would have to say no. There are so many hours in this project. I don't even know how many, but I've probably got 40, 50 hours of video at this point. So, it's a lot. Am I glad I did it? Yes. If you had someone locally that could do this sort of work professionally, at least the fret work, I would advise hiring them to do it. That is something that is a bit of a pain. The sanding and bodywork and stuff, that's all kind of woodworking things. If you have any woodworking experience, that's not a very big deal. The soldering and thing, that's fairly simple. It all depends on how much you know, and you could see from the video I was looking at a diagram on my phone to make sure I had it right because it's been so long since I've rewired one of these Strats. But realistically, yeah, I mean, it's great for me. I like it. It's comfortable. And it kept me from buying a new guitar. So that's a bit of a toss-up. But I think we're good. So until next time.